Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News at 4. I am Francis Oyima Edet, coming to you live from beyond the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Senate President Akpabio says federal government is set to review workers' salary. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino sends names of commissioners and special advisors to State Assembly for screening. Plus, King Charles to deliver first King's speech in November. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us. First in the news this afternoon is from the Red Chambers, where President of the Senate, Gospel Akpabio, has assured Nigerian workers of the readiness of the government to review the salaries of its workers as a move towards cushioning the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy. The President of the Senate gave the assurance while receiving in courtesy the Governor of Ekiti State, Abiodun Oyebanji. Fuel subsidy by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration was to address corruption in the petroleum sector. He said the removal of fuel subsidy was the beginning of fighting corruption in the system. To the Green Chambers now, where the House of Representatives has taken a firm stance against the National Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) by rejecting the proposed increase in electricity tariff. The resolution was reached following a motion presented by Aliyu Madaki, who expressed strong disapproval of the price hike, especially considering the recent increase in petrol prices that has already burdened many Nigerians. Aliyu Madaki emphasized that it is inappropriate and insensitive to introduce such a significant tariff increase at a time when citizens are still grappling with the impact of the petrol price surge. In response to the motion, the House has mandated its Committee on Power, once constituted, to engage in discussions with NERC. Reports say the aim is to seek a mutual understanding and find a middle ground to address the proposed tariff hike, considering the current economic challenges faced by the populace. In another development, the National Economic Council NEC meeting is being held at the Council Chambers of the State House, Abuja. The meeting, which is being chaired by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, has in attendance governors of the 36 states of the Federation, the Director General of the Nigerian Governors Forum, as well as stakeholders from the World Bank and other agencies of government. This is reportedly the second meeting of the Council, and it is expected to deliberate on the reviewed palliative package for Nigerians following the removal of petrol subsidy and the recent hike in petrol prices to up to 617 naira per litre as a result of market forces. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has commenced a review of the deployment of personnel and materials used during the 2023 general elections. The INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu disclosed these at a post-election review meeting with electoral officers in Abuja. Yakubu said the commission invited transport providers to review logistics arrangements for personnel and materials to various locations, explaining that the review would allow INEC to interact with electoral officers in critical areas.
Meets in the nation's capital, Abuja. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, mentioned this as the national officers met with electoral officers and leaders of various transport unions engaged.
On judicial matters, Justice Binta Njako of the Federal High Court of Abuja has ordered the Department of State Services (DSS) to grant the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, access to a medical doctor of his choice on grounds that he requires urgent ear surgery amidst his reported failing health. Delivering judgment, Justice Njako also ordered the secret police to also monitor, record and seal all medical sessions administered on the IPOB leader for security purposes. The court in its judgment also ordered that all Kanu's medical records be made available to the IPOB leader. Kanu has been in the custody of the DSS since June 2021. Is facing terrorism-related charges brought against him by the secret police. Bakir Kwabam State Governor Pastor Umono has sent names of commissioners and special advisors to the Kwabam State House of Assembly for screening and confirmation. They include Uko Udum, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Comrade Inyeme Mebong, Sir Monday Uko, Dr. Nsikan Nkan, Oman Asen, Sir Charles Udo, Idonisat Etiebet, and Captain Inyobong Ekong, amongst others. In his ruling, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Udemo Otong, referred the list to the House Committee on Justice, Human Rights and Public Petition. Moino yesterday administered oath of office to the Chairman and Vice Chairman of Nsibom and Refong Ruko local government councils. Deaconess Otobong Sonny Aaron and Mboso Charles David were sworn in as Chairman and Vice for Nsibom local government council, while Oyosoro Okono Oyosoro and Arid Sunday Ambat took the oath of office as Chairman and Vice for Refong Ruko local government councils. Our correspondent has the details.
Kwabam State Governor Pastor Moino has sworn in Oyosoro Okon Oyosoro and Deaconess Otobong Sonny Aaron as Chairman of Refong Ruko and Nsibom local government area respectively, with a charge on them to lead in a determined effort to bring development to the rural areas. Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony held at the State Banquet Hall, Government House, Uyo, Governor Ino, who congratulated them on the assumption of their new offices, restated that his administration is committed to transforming and deepening the growth of the rural areas. The governor further urged them to, as chief security officers of their various local government areas, to work in that regard with relevant stakeholders and their people in ensuring that the peace currently being enjoyed is maintained in the state.
Let me, on behalf of the government and people of Akwa Ibom State, congratulate you all for the new responsibilities you have now assumed as the chairman and vice chairman of your respective local government councils. It is befitting that you are transitioning into an office and space of which you are all familiar with. This administration, in line with the core values and vision as encapsulated in our rights agenda, is determined to transform and deepen growth and development in our rural areas as a strategic way of curbing rural-urban migration. As heads of your respective councils, you are expected to lead in our determined effort to bring development to our rural areas,
while reiterating the need for local government chairmen to reside in their various local government areas to give room for effective leadership and growth of their various areas. The governor further stressed that he will send an executive bill in that regard to the state assembly.
people who must lead our local government must live in their respective local government. That's the bill I'm going to present. So if you are willing to contest to be local government chairman and you know you will not live in your local government, please don't do so. If you want to be a chairman of a local government, stay in your local government. We expect you to continue to work with your stakeholders, the youth, the women, elders, to ensure that the peace we have enjoyed in this state is maintained.
Meanwhile, in an interview with Government House correspondents, the newly sworn-in chairman of Nsibom local government area, Deaconess Otobong Sonny Aaron, while appreciating God for the opportunity, pledged to serve and ensure that the people enjoy the dividends of democracy. In the meantime, Also sworn in were Arbit Sunday Ambit as Vice Chairman of Refong Ruko Local Government Area and Bosowo Charles David as Vice Chairman for Sidibom Local Government Area. In Uyo, Jane Owa, Spectrum Television News.
In the meantime, a doctor of medical laboratory science in Live Links Hospital in Kerometok has advised the general public on some etiquette that they can control the spread of tuberculosis hygiene and the importance of poor etiquette procedures, affirming that if this is done, it will control the spread of tuberculosis. Our correspondent, Blessing Dixon, completes the story.
Statistics from the World Health Organization shows that every year, around 245,000 Nigerians die from tuberculosis and about 590 new cases occur. The Institute of Human Virology in Nigeria added that TB patients infect 15 people annually and 300,000 cases are left undiagnosed nationwide every year. When people with TB cough, sneeze, or spit, they propel the TB germs into the air. A person only needs to inhale a few of these germs to become infected. Tuberculosis affects the lungs, but it can also affect other parts of the body, such as the brain, the kidneys, or the spine. Dr. Nkeruem Etok takes us through how tuberculosis can be controlled, while emphasizing on cough etiquette.
Preventive measures for tuberculosis, vaccination in tuberculosis, that's good. But it has limited use. Separating the young person or elderly person from an infected person. Then you can also prevent it by reducing alcohol intake, reducing drug usage. We must try to educate the people on how to cough. Somebody is a tuberculosis patient and is still coughing without handkerchief, without covering his mouth.
A popular session quips, "Prevention is better than cure. Let's all take steps to prevent the spread of tuberculosis." In Uyo, Blessing Dixon, Spectrum Television News.
Move now to Africa, where Egypt's President Abdel El-Sisi has pardoned an unspecified number of people, including a Christian rights activist, Patrick Zaki. Reports say Zaki was sentenced on Tuesday, July 18 to 3 years in prison by the court in Nile Delta city of Mansoura, taken into custody from the courtroom directly after the verdict. He was convicted of disseminating false news related to an article of his about alleged discrimination against the Coptic Christian minority in Egypt. On the foreign scene, a House of Commons leader, Penny Mordaunt, told members of Parliament today that Charles III will make his first King's speech at the UK state opening of Parliament on November 7th. The King, who became monarch last September, will outline Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's priorities for the year ahead, which will likely see a general election. Charles deputised for his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, at the opening of Parliament in 2022, but it will be the first time he has delivered this set-piece speech since becoming the King. And still to come in the news, Neymar reveals club he will play for next season. To stay with us.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Every society is premised on the quality of relationships forged by its inhabitants. The health of these relationships determines how well people, relationships, organizations thrive and how long they stick together. Join Uyai Anyekan on Connect every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and on Sunday 2:30 to 3 p.m. on Channel 421 on StarTimes to catch all the conversations, interviews, real stories, and how to navigate relationships and family life in the 21st century. Real people, real faces, real stories. Connect live on Spectrum Television.
Many thanks for staying with us. We'll move on with the rest of the news stories. On a business news, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said a 10% appreciation in the dollar linked to global financial market forces will decrease economic output in emerging market economies, including Nigeria, by 1.9%. It noted that the decline persisted for 2.5 years. The IMF also announced that the US dollar strengthened to a 20-year high in 2022 with major implications for the global economy. According to IMF, a strong dollar meant that trade and financial channels in emerging market economies like Nigeria were affected. Still in business, the recent increase in the cost of premium motor spirit, commonly known as petrol, has been attributed to marketers to the devaluation of the naira and the current surge in crude oil prices. The chairman of the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, Olumide Adeosun, during a media workshop said the international price of crude oil and the exchange rate constituted the largest component of the cost build-up for petrol, accounting for over 80%. He stated that the remaining 20% included statutory dues, distribution cost, and margins. To health now were consultant pediatrics, hematologists, and oncologists at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, IDI Araba, Professor Edamisa Timiye says children will not grow well and appropriately in an environment characterized by violence. Timiye also said a violent environment can also increase the chances of children having a low intelligence quotient, which he said will lead to poor academic performance. A pediatrician who disclosed this during an interview with Newsman, however, said adequate nutrition during pregnancy could positively impact on the brain and physical development of children. In sports, Paris Saint-Germain forward Neymar Jr. has said he will remain at the club with or without love last season. Fans of the League One champions demanded that Neymar leave the club. The supporters went as far as gathering outside the Brazilian's home to protest as PSG endured another super campaign. Although he has been linked with a few clubs this summer, Neymar has now made it clear he is staying at the Parc des Princes. On our entertainment news, Nigerian songstress Oyinkansola Sarah Aderibe, popularly known as Ira Star, has disclosed that Marvin's boss Don Jazzy is cool and calm. Stability Kroner recounted her first encounter with the music executive in an interview with newsmen. The 21-year-old, who is signed to the label, revealed Don Jazzy gave her much creative freedom to discover her sound. Lastly, in the news, Guinness World Record has openly disassociated itself from a man who went partially blind for attempting to break a record for the longest crying marathon by an individual. Reports say Tembu Ebere, who has a Cameroonian heritage, attempted to break a Guinness World Record for crying for 7 days non-stop. Ebere, in an interview, claimed that he went partially blind for 45 minutes while attempting the challenge. According to him, he had to reevaluate his approach and reduce the intensity of his wailing as it was causing him headaches. All of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You've been watching Spectrum
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people. But there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.